Good morning. My name is Jessica Alfone, and I'm the Director of Staff Development and Special Programs in the Middletown School District. As we have just recently launched our two new digital tools, Imagine Learning Literacy and Imagine Learning Math, I want to provide you with some further information regarding both platforms. So the first thing that I want to start off with is an overview of both of the Imagine Learning platforms. The most impressive feature regarding Imagine Learning is that it is completely adaptive, meaning that as students work through the content, the system continuously adjusts to the ability level of the student. Most programs that are offered on digital platforms adapt from benchmark to benchmark, with most benchmarking occurring at 3 checkpoints during the year. Therefore, in other programs, students may spend a great majority of their time accessing content that's based on old benchmark results. In Imagine Literacy and Math, the system continuously adapts. So as students answer each question and engage with content, the system adapts to the abilities and is completely responsive to the student as they progress through the lessons. This allows students to always be provided with extension and remediation that is appropriate for their independent levels of work. We have had some questions regarding if a child was leveled too high, and there's a couple of reasons for this. The system, though, as a student continues to work through the lessons, will eventually scaffold the instruction back to a place that's more appropriate as the child progresses through the various lesson activities. Imagine Learning is also gamified. This greatly enhances student engagement. There is a great deal of research to support the gamification of learning tasks in the school environment, especially on a digital platform. There is a ton of research that backs both of these programs. I have included some links, and this will also be posted on our website, to demonstrate the strong history of success that Imagine Literacy and Imagine Math both have. There have been a great many studies that have been done on the federal level regarding, student success in supporting not only struggling learners, but also ESL learners and special education students as well. So looking at that research is definitely a way to kind of give the stamp of approval that both of these programs do have a track record and a history of significant strength in the educational community. The benchmark assessments in Imagine Learning enable us to get a baseline read on a student's initial levels. Both platforms in Imagine Learning require students to take a benchmark at the onset of the program. In the upper grades, students are launched into the assessments right away, and the system actually announces that this is an assessment. In the younger grades, students are exposed to some warm-up lessons to acclimate to the program, especially for our youngest learners. They do still take a benchmark, but it appears as more embedded within the program versus, indicating to the student that it's a formal assessment. The benchmark assessment, as I said, establishes the learning level and the corresponding pathway for each student. Students should participate in these opening assessment exercises independently so that the platform can get the best indication of the appropriate level to provide for the learner. And I had spoken about this briefly in the last slide, that students are placed on a level based on those benchmark results, and therefore the productive struggle in that independent assessment is extremely important in providing the appropriate level of instruction for students to start out in the program for. As they progress through and participate in these opening assessment exercises independently, the system gets the best indication. Students who level up, meaning they're exceeding the grade level expectation, may spend more time taking the initial assessment. The platform will adjust and continuously provide students with the next highest level to ensure that when they start participating and engaging in learning activities, that the appropriate instructional level is there. It's been another question in regards to how long should my child be spending in the Imagine Learning platforms. We had pushed out some earlier time guidance for each grade level, which I listed here for you to reference again. It suggested that students engage with the platform during these time parameters for a couple of reasons. Number one, to avoid extended screen time, and also potential frustration. As I said, there will be some productive struggle because this is a learning platform. Students will eventually be exposed to skills that they may not have seen before as they level up within the program. A couple of suggestions to help with this is setting a timer. It's a great way for students to participate in managing their own usage. And when a student finishes for the day within those time parameters, there's no need to extend beyond that, even if a task is not finished. The system will automatically save the student's work at the point of stopping for the next login time. So there's no requirement to finish the assessment or even finish a lesson if it exceeds, the time guidance that we've structured out. As with any new launch of a program, especially this launch, which we've obviously launched in the virtual environment, this would be a different launch had we been in our physical classrooms. So as always, feedback is really important for us to continue to evolve the guidance we put out and also enhance our students' usage experience. So as students engage with the platforms, it's really important for us to get feedback regarding their experiences. This will help us troubleshoot issues and be able to provide further guidance for our staff, students, and families in using both of these platforms. If you do have a concern, please reach out to your child's teacher and they can direct you to the appropriate staff member. Issues logging into the system through Clever can be directed to the ed tech specialist assigned to your building. And if you need immediate assistance with something or just want to provide me with feedback, please feel free to email me. I have listed my email address for you. And I just want to really thank you on behalf of the school district for really supporting us in a successful launch of both of these digital platforms. It is a big task to get 4,100 elementary students logged on to 2 platforms, and we accomplished that with a high rate of success. In over the 90% of our students have logged on, and over 80% of our students have taken the initial benchmarks in both areas, and that happened in less than 2 weeks. And that's really a credit to not only our teaching staff, but especially you who are constantly assisting your students at home. And we certainly appreciate all of the support that you've given us through this virtual home instruction process, and particularly for this in the successful launch of these digital tools. So I thank you, and I also encourage you to continue to reach out with questions that you may have.